Hi friends, this is Steve. In this video, I'll answer this Splat question several different ways, and I'll show you which teacher question in a Splat lesson is the most important one to ask. This video is inspired by a question I sometimes receive, and I'll quote it. How does Steve Wyborney answer a Splat question? One quick note before we go forward. If you are already familiar with Splat, I recommend using the timestamp in the description to jump forward to the solution. If Splat is new to you, Splat is a set of math activities that I've written and posted on my blog. You can find over 100 downloadable lessons that are completely free, completely ready to use in your classroom, and they come in 14 different levels. They promote number sense, deep thinking, and rich math talk. Before I answer the question, a quick orientation to some of the levels in Splat will be helpful. So level 1 includes numbers through 10. Here you can see 5 dots, the total is 5, Splat. How many dots are under the Splat? Level 2 is similar but includes numbers through 20. Here are 18 dots, so it will show 18, then Splat. How many dots are under the Splat? Level 3 includes multiple Splats. Here there are 19 dots and Splat. The rule is that every Splat that is the same color is covering the same number. So each of these Splats is covering the same number of dots. The question is, how many dots are under each Splat? Jumping up to level 8, there are also number Splats like these. The total is 32. Splat, what is under the Splat? Algebraic reasoning can be found in all of the Splats, but is especially featured in instant two-variable Splats. Here you can see 2 red Splats that have the same value as each other, one yellow Splat that has a different value than the red Splats, and the total is 14. If you know the value of one red Splat, can you determine the value of the yellow Splat? Level 11 is fraction Splat. In fact, the last 4 levels are focused on fractions. In level 11, you see a number represented like this. There are 5 whole dots, and there are also 8 1/4, so the total is 7, and then Splat. And again, the question is, what is under the Splat? How do you know? And the most important question of all, how else could you know? When you download a Splat lesson, you'll see right away that there are several slides in each file. You'll also notice that the first slide has guiding questions for the teacher to ask. Then all the rest do not. That's because you can learn the questions easily from seeing them on the first slide. The guiding questions are, how many blue shapes do you see? Splat. How many shapes are under the Splat? How do you know? How else could you know? Let's look under the Splat to see how many shapes are there. What can we learn from this picture? So in this video, I'll answer this Splat question. It's from level 2, and you'll notice that my response is focused on just one image from level 2. You'll also see why the question, how else could you know, is so important. The total number of dots on the screen is 14, and here comes the Splat. So the question is, how many dots are under the Splat? This is how I answer the question. There's some dots that I can see. If I count the dots that I can see, I count to 11. 11 is less than 14, so I know that there are some dots that I can't see. If I keep counting to 14, that will help me to find the missing number. From 11, I can count on 12, 13, 14. I wonder how many dots are under the Splat. That can help me to find the answer, but I might be tempted to stop there if it weren't for the most important question in Splat, which is this one. How else could you know? This is the question that causes me to search for more ideas, to make more connections, and to reach for richer number sense. So how else could I know? I know that 14 is an even number, so I can think about pairs. I'll count by 2s as I create pairs. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I wonder how many dots are under the Splat. How else could I know? I know that half of 14 is 7, so I can think about 2 groups of 7. Here is one group of 7. So this must be another group of 7. I can see 4 of the 7. I wonder how many dots are under the Splat. I can break the 14 apart in many other ways. I can think of 14 as one group of 10 plus 4 ones. Here is a group of 10, so this must be 4 ones. I wonder how many dots are under the splat. I know that 14 is 1 less than 15, and I know I can count to 15 by 5s. 5, 10, 15. Since 14 is 1 less than 15, that means that one of the groups will have 1 less than 5. Here is one whole group of 5. Here is another whole group of 5. And this group must have 1 less than 5. I wonder what's under the splat. I can work with 14, but sometimes it's easier to work with 15, so I'm going to change the 14 to 15. To do that, I need to add 1 dot. Now the total is 15. I'll find groups of 5. Here is one group of 5. Here is another group of 5, so that makes 10. Here is another group of 5, which makes 15. I wonder what's under the splat, and I think I know. How else could I know? I can move some of the dots. I can take some of the dots that are outside the splat and have them join the group that is in the splat. I remember that 7 plus 7 is equal to 14, so I'll look for 2 groups of 7. Here is the first group of 7. Now I'll move this dot on top of the splat. I'll move this dot. I'll also move this dot, and I'll move this one too. Now I know that the splat has a value of 7, and I can see 4 of the 7 dots on top of the splat. I wonder what's under the splat. Let's look under the splat to see how many shapes are there. It's 3. The last question is, what can we learn from this picture? If you think about 3, 11, and 14, you may realize that there are many, many ways to think about this splat. Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to subscribe by clicking the red button and click the notification bell too. In some upcoming videos, I'll show you how I answer some other splat questions, including multiple splats and fraction splats. Keep in mind that the strategies I've shown here are certainly not the only ways to answer this splat question. In fact, there are many, many more ways to think about this splat. My advice is this: lean into that very important question, how else could you know? And let your students amaze you with their ideas. And I would love to hear how you solve this in the comments below. One last note. Don't forget that the Splat lessons are free. There are over 100 of them ready to download, and they're completely ready to use in your classroom. Just click on the description below to find the link. You can use them in your classroom right away. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to sharing other Splat videos soon.